great play by Rick Kay, number 52. He got a hold of the jersey. And as luck would have it up here, the jerseys are as tough as the players. It held, and that's how he stopped the play. You can see that clock is still ticking.
And now they start the clock again. They stopped it while some of the Rams are a little bit slow getting back, and the clock is running. Tarkenton goes back. Chased by Youngblood. There's a flag down as Foreman cuts upfield inside to the 30-yard line.
I believe Eddie White grabbed Merlin Olsen, and it's going to be, a little offensive holding.
It could be on Yeri, too.
They might have had a double bubble over there.
Could have. Let's see.
You ever seen a tag team match? That's what we may see here. All right, look to the left of your screen now. 74 is working against Eddie White, the arm wrestling champion. There's Eddie pounding him with... We sure didn't see Eddie holding in there.
Foreman had the first down, but it's all going to be called back. Let's listen.
73 offense, holding.
Yeri and not Eddie White. And I guarantee you, Eddie, I apologize for even thinking that you might have done that.
Youngblood finally got away from Yeri. Half a minute remaining in the second half. The Vikings lead 3-0. White in motion. Outside it goes to White. Youngblood had a hand on him, throwed him up, and Olsen and the rest of the defensive unit pursued.
They finish a play as well as any team I've ever seen. By that I mean they keep chasing the ball. The whole defensive team does. As an individual, they stay with it. That time you had a 16, 15-year veteran clear on the outside helping make a tackle on a pass play. That's an unheard of thing, even in pro football where they pay him so much money to do it, Pat.
Right now it's 3rd and 15. And Tarkenton makes another visit to the sideline. The offensive line there, anchored by Mick Tingleoff. There goes Francis.
And you know, they worried about John Gilliam leaving here, and would they have the outside threat? But boy, Sammy White has come along, and Fran has just taken up with this young man from Grambling, so that they're really probably not going to miss Gilliam as much as they thought. Not that he's not a great receiver. Now with Ahmad Rashad here, and Bud Grant manages to put in a little wrinkle new for each team each week. He is not as fundamental and basic as you might want to think.
Looked like a little social visit on the sideline as Tarkenton comes back with 19 seconds remaining before halftime. It is 3-0, the Vikings over the Rams.
He's not very dirty either. His trousers look like they were just taken off the hanger, huh?
Been on the ground once. So it'll be 3rd and 15 with the ball at the 47-yard line of the Rams. The Rams defensive backs very deep. Tarkenton looks one direction and goes the other. Now he's going to throw deep. And fires in the direction of Sammy White. One of the Rams just got a hand in there at the last second. Rick Kay and Simpson were close by. It was intended for White. And they have 11 seconds left now.
Boy, Simpson just ran right through number 85. Simpson, of course, out of Michigan State a couple of years ago. He and Elmendorf might be as two good knocking a safety men as there are around.
Minnesota sends in Neil Clabo on 4th down now. The Rams don't really believe it. They have not put back a safety man yet.
Strange looking defense they've got lined up in. You're right.
Clabo standing at about his 38-yard line. Good snap. With no safety man back there, it's just going to bounce and roll and into the end zone. So they'll bring it back out to the 20 with just 2 seconds left. And that's going to be it. Clock runs out. That's the end of the first half. The score at Packed House in Bloomington, Minnesota is the Minnesota Vikings 3, the Los Angeles Rams nothing. And so far, it's been a very conservative first half, just exactly what we expected from Los Angeles. And the Rams head for their locker room. Coming up at the halftime, a complete rundown of all the scores around the league and an interview with Big Ben Davidson, one of the stars of the new series on CBS, Ball 4. Ben looks like he's full grown, wouldn't you say?
He looks like he can make it.
He gives the indication that he's ready to kick to Leonard Willis and Sammy White.
Look out for Willis. He's the 9'3" sprinter from Woody Hayes' school at Ohio State. That's White, though.
This is Sammy White. Rams special teams do a good job Carl Eckern is the first man down. This is Pat Summerall at Bloomington, Minnesota with Tom Brookshire. The Vikings lead it 3-0.
Pat, I think you have to go in at halftime if you're a Ram person and say, hey, wait a minute, we didn't get any points down there. We may have to win this one with defense. And, conversely speaking, I think that Fran decided we're not going to run a lot today anyway, so let's move our receivers out, get Foreman into it as often as we can, and see if we can get some more points now.
Ball's on the 28-yard line. It's first down, Minnesota. Tarkin fakes, throws outside at Foreman. Here comes Isaiah Robertson with a great play.
Butch has speed, doesn't he? Robertson, number 58. Saw him take an interception one day on AstroTurf and went 79 yards with it against the Eagles, and he really looked like a halfback. I'm talking about on defense. That's number 58 right there.
Like he and Foreman had a little conversation after he made that tackle. Out of the game goes Rick Kay, and into the game for the Rams comes an extra defensive back, Pat Thomas. So it's going to be 2nd and 13. The ball at the 25-yard line of Minnesota. Just a little bit outside of that as you get a good close-up look at Francis Tarkenton. Spread out to the right. Outside it goes to White. Nothing doing. Rod Perry right with him. That Ram defensive unit has been most impressive.
All right, and again now Fran has tried to get it to Foreman the first time, and then he used him as the decoy that time. Minnesota looks like if 44 isn't integrally involved in every play, they don't feel like they can really move it. Somehow he's in the operation all the time, and that's the reason he thinks he's worth so much money.
3rd and 12, and I think he is too. Straight back is Tarkenton. Outside in the direction of White. He got it. Got away from one tackler. Got the first down. Broke another one. And Sammy White is out to the 50-yard line.
And Perry and Simpson both missed Sammy White. Here he is, number 85. Ask the Bengals about him. He beat them in a preseason game up here, and they thought the play was over. It's
Perry,
just a short out, Pat.
Watch this.
Okay, you're right behind the defense now. There's Olsen battling with Tingelhoff and company. The short out throw. Now watch here's Perry now. Ooh, all he gets is the hip pads, and not much of those. And now Elmendorf got a pretty good shot, and he beat darn near the whole Rams secondary.
You see who made the tackle? Well, you saw Rod Perry miss. He got up, came back and made the tackle. Finally, here's McClanahan. Nothing doing there for him. He's hit right in the hole. Rick Kay. Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker, filled it with authority.
Well, Tommy Catlin, the linebacking coach, has told me that Jack Reynolds has never missed one of their defensive signals. Now, he'll miss a tackle occasionally, and he might run into one of his own players and knock him down, but he is hitting somebody on a Sunday afternoon somewhere.
I thought he was going to hurt himself in the warm-up.
He almost missed the introduction, too. Did you see that?
2nd down, Tarkenton back. 2nd and 9 it is. Francis got plenty of time.
He's over the line of scrimmage. He's over the line of scrimmage.
He's over the line of scrimmage.
That'll be an illegal forward pass. It'll cost you the down and the play.
But there's another flag downfield. Monty Jackson, I think, hit Sammy White in the back before the ball got there.
And that's not legal, right? Not anymore.
In the eyes of some.
With the extra referee and the officials downfield, it's no longer kosher. You're right about that.
Anyway, the discussion goes on still with Tarkenton now. The referee is Fred Silva, by the way. The umpire is Ralph Moorcroft. Head linesman George Murphy. Line judge Bob Bauer. The back judge is Dave Perry. And the field judge is Jimmy Cole. And if he walked off against Tarkenton, he was over the line of scrimmage. It is rare that you see him do that.
It's true. He tries to get away with it a lot. Let's hear the call.
Loss of down. Illegal pass. 3rd down.
And maybe somebody just dropped their flag by accident downfield while they were walking, or wanted to do something.
Once
with
he
the flag.
got across the line of scrimmage, I think everything else was just completely out of the picture. So it's 3rd down. Loss of down, as indicated by Fred Silva. Scoreboard still got it 2nd down, but it's 3rd. Tarkenton back again. Youngblood with some pressure. Flag is down. Yeri was holding Youngblood again, I'm sure.
Number 73, one of the great offensive tackles, and it is such a fine line between holding and doing your job. that the official that calls it, it's just become so flagrant he's got to call it. That's the only thing we can say.
Youngblood just keeps pouring in. Tarkenton stayed in the pocket that time, which is rather unusual for him. Listen to the indication.
73 offense refused.
It is refused.
It
was against Gary. It is now 4th down. Like to welcome those of you who watched that contest between the Cardinals and Green Bay. St. Louis shut them out 29-0. Here the score is 3-0 Minnesota. The event you did join us late. The Rams had one solid-looking drive in the first half. They went 75 yards. They had a 1st and goal at the 8-yard line and came away with no points. The Vikings held them. Now it's Neil Claybo.
Got a 45-yard average coming in. He has to hurry it.
Bertelsen coming over. Bouncing at about the 20, out of bounds at the 23-yard line, where the Rams will take it over. Bertelsen had no chance to field it. Claybo didn't catch that one.
No, he hurried it just a little bit.
Don't forget all that's coming up on the Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 p.m.
You're going to be busy, I'll tell you that.
I'll say. Ali Norton interview, that alone would keep you busy, followed by the Mount Everest Expedition, the International Superbike Championship, the Beldame from Belmont, the Italian Grand Prix. A full day on the Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time. Capoletti and McCutcheon, the deep backs for the Rams. Pat Hayden is still the quarterback. This is Capoletti straight ahead, swarmed on by the Viking defensive unit. Let's see who's on the bottom. I see Eller, it wasn't him. Jeff Seaman, Matt Blair, Wally Hilgenberg, and Doug Sutherland finally the last one up.
Capoletti had 79 yards rushing in the first half. That's a 4.4 yard average per try against as stingy a defensive club, I guess, year in and year out as we've seen.
He hurt his average a little bit with that carry. He only got 2, so it's 2nd and 8. 11-17 left in the 3rd period as McCutcheon goes out wide behind. Defensive play by Nate Allen again. And Jeff Wright came up to make the tackle. Allen turned it back inside. Watch it from the end zone.
Let's take a look at 23 now to the left of your screen. First, the man in motion coming back, Ron Jesse, does not get a good block on the outside. He has to be careful there not to make a clip. And here you can see it break down as Mack tries to go ahead. Jeff Wright makes a good tackle. The safety man making the fill there. Who was that? Blair doing the forcing, right?
Who is that?
Yeah, you got to watch him. Wonder if he used his underarm deodorant today.
I don't think he ever has. Nobody ever stands close to him.
He's always alone.
He's always by himself. Pat Hayden, after a little bit of confusion, that's what he did in the first half, wants to go over and talk to Chuck Knox and Kenny Meyer. Make sure he's got things straight. He must have missed that signal.
You know, this is the last ballpark, I believe, where the two teams are on the same side of the field.
That always meant for interesting confrontations when the both benches were on the same side of the field.
Like dogs and cats.
There was no place to hide.
Hey, if you really love coffee, you got to see this. It's a brand new Norelco Dial Brew coffee maker, and it's got a brand new look. Isn't it a beauty? And the exclusive Norelco Dial Brew lets you dial coffee to exactly the taste you like. Light, medium, dark. And perfect every time. Only Norelco has Dial Brew. Look, you can pay less, you can pay more, but you just can't buy a finer coffee maker than Norelco.
When America needed a better idea, Ford put it on wheels.
October 1st, Ford Pinto kicks up its heels with sporty new styling front and back, a sporty suspension for nimble handling, and new exciting options like rally instruments and a flip-up removable roof. Test one October 1st.
When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
86 football players on the same side of the field. The Ram offensive unit operating now with Pat Hayden as the quarterback. They're all up the ball at their own 22-yard line. John Williams, the offensive tackle on the right side, missed the count.
I believe the man from USC is having a little poise trouble right now. The young quarterback, he just had to call timeout, and now he may have called the audible cadence wrong, because Williams has been there a while, and I'm sure he won't hold it against the young quarterback, but a little bit of nerves showing right now. A 3-0 game.
Ball goes back to the 17, make it 3rd and 16 now. We're in the 3rd period with 10.5 minutes left. Vikings lead at 3-0. Typical NFC Central Division Minnesota hosted game. Here's the reverse again of McCutcheon. Hara out in front. McCutcheon chased down by Marshall and Jeff Wright. It's going to be 4th down now, and Rusty Jackson comes in to punt for the Los Angeles Rams.
Jeff Wright made a tremendous play again, the safety man, who is really all over the field for Bud Granstein. Yeah, yes.
Leonard Willis is deep for Minnesota. He's the man they like to have handle the punts. And look out for him, as Tom Brookshire has been telling you. He is dangerous. Rusty Jackson hangs a high one. Willis goes up with a hand for a fair catch and does it. At the 32-yard line, Minnesota will take over. Neither team able to generate too much on offense. As the scoreboard would indicate, the Minnesota Vikings 3, the Los Angeles Rams nothing. Both going in are undefeated.
You know, Prestone antifreeze, you know it fights corrosion. You know Presto.
You know, antifreeze isn't permanent. It wears out like everything else. So I put in a fresh fill of Prestone 2 every fall. Why don't you? It fights corrosion.
Prestone 2, you know it protects.
This is my car, and I know Prestone protects.
These are the cars that Ford built. This is the solid-state ignition that comes on the cars that Ford built. Ford Motor Company's solid-state ignition means no more points, no more condensers. You get a stronger spark for better starting, and your plugs last longer with solid-state ignition that comes on the cars that Ford built. Ford built. It's a lot of things that are good built.
It's simple. Ford wants to be your car company.
It has cooled off considerably in Bloomington, Minnesota, and the wind has picked up a little bit.
May snow.
Like it might. It's 1st down now for Minnesota with the ball on their own 32-yard line. Tarkenton with a fake to McClanahan, throws in the direction of Stu Voigt. And the ever-present Stu Voigt seems to just pop out of the ground and be open.
As soon as Voigt cleared the line of scrimmage, he saw the zone break away from him, and watch him put his arm up. And you're behind the Rams secondary now. Voigt will be to the left of your screen, and watch him. He may have his hand up as you see him. There he is. He's already put it down. But he was signaling for Fran is, we know what the defense is, and I got one, buddy. Get it to me.
It's a mark of experience right there, a tight end or any receiver who has enough knowledge to pull up when you see you're running into zone coverage like that. That's what Voigt did. The handoff is to Foreman, nothing doing.
Pat, people may not understand this, but when you and I are broadcasting the game, we can sort of get a feel for it, the way the game is unfolding,
right,
or the way it's... And the teams are having the same problem that you and I are, and I imagine the viewer feels it too, that there are missed plays and then there's some great plays, and there's no continuous feeling to it right now, like they've got it going. You know what I mean?
Nobody has been able to get too much going outside of that one drive that the Rams had. It is 2nd and 8. Ball right at midfield. Tarkenton in front of McClanahan and Foreman. Going deep in the direction of Sammy White. Did not come up with it. Back with him was Rod Perry. Simpson came over to help out. Looked for a moment like White might have had a step, but Perry got the hand in at the last second. Look at it.
He's the second-year man from Colorado now. Now look to the left of your screen. Again, just as we said, there was no tempo. Suddenly, the game picked up. Good play by Perry, and I'll tell you, Sammy White can run.
Rick Kay goes out, and Pat Thomas comes in as the Rams load up their defensive backfield with an extra one. It's 3rd and 8. Ball still at midfield. 8:29 left, 3rd period. Minnesota 3, Los Angeles nothing. Foreman comes in motion to the left. McClanahan got it and got it ahead of steam. He's got 1st down. He's inside the 30. Down to close to the 30-yard line. Past the 35. 15-yard pickup as Jack Reynolds took him out. Watch again.
Defensive players should take up a collection and get Tarkington out of this game. Watch this. He's got his best receiver, best player to the left now, so he dumps it off to McClanahan over the rush, and nobody's there. And now McClanahan takes it inside and back out. You can see a couple of trousers here being stretched. Good play by number 33, and almost breaks another one before Hacksaw Reynolds shows up.
Finally put the ball down on the 36-yard line. Tarkington looks left, hit White. Down to the 25, down to the 24, another Viking first down. Minnesota on the move. Just as we said nobody could get anything going, they've got it.
It looks like they may be working on Perry a little bit. Watch to the left now, young Perry. Rod Perry is now on this side of the field. Good tackle on Sammy White, his man for the day. But the first down's already been, they've moved the chains already. Here's another look at that same thing, the quick spin and the fast delivery by Tarkington.
First and 10, Minnesota, the ball at the 24-yard line of Los Angeles. McClanahan with the carry around the corner. They just seal off the run. Rick Cave right there to make the tackle.
What a play. What a play by number 52. He just kept holding his ground. To the right of you now, this is a power sweep. Everybody's out in front. Watch number 52 now. Just fight his blocker. Fight, fight, fight on Yeri. And then drop to the outside, get that shirt again, and make the tackle. Good play.
Second and 9. He got only a yard after that good play by Kay.
Line 70.
And the blitz going. Tarkington throws out to the rest of the foreman. He never saw the ball. Rick Kay was back with him. Reynolds, the middle linebacker, was on the blitz.
I'd really like to have Fran's inner thoughts right now. I'd like to be able to climb inside that helmet and hear what he's thinking. Maybe I wouldn't. Main thing is it wasn't an INT, and that's what number 10 thinks about a lot. He doesn't throw it into where people are too often.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 now. They're just about within Fred Cox's field goal range.
Vikings are 4 for 10 so far in third down conversions.
Here comes Reynolds. Oh, Boyd had it in his hands and couldn't hang on. The Rams' Monty Jackson was with him. You won't see Boyd drop many like that.
Well, I'll tell you, though, Jackson made it awfully tough for him. I don't think number 83 saw the ball. Jackson stepped in front, covered him perfectly. I'd have to say Monty Jackson's about the best-looking young defensive back I've seen in this league in a couple of years. He's a good one.
He is a superb athlete. Bud Grant at his communications center. Here's Fred Cox. Krause will hold at the 31. That'll make it a 41-yard field goal. Cox has already hit one from 33. It is wide to the right side. Not good for Fred Cox. So it's still Minnesota 3, Los Angeles nothing, in a game that obviously has been dominated from the very start by defense. Both defensive units just fine.
It's going to be about 3 touchdowns. You know it? We were just talking up here as we were meandering about the possibility there could be a big fourth quarter scoring splurge, and I have a feeling both teams are finally going to say, to heck with all our procedures and all our IBM readouts, let's go get some points. I think they'll both open up, Pat.
I think Tarkington has just about realized that he's not going to get it done running against the Ram defensive unit in any way. If it's going to be done, then it's got to be done by passing. His pass protection has been reasonably good. Of course, it always is when he's the quarterback, because he runs around so much. Pat Hayden still is leading the Ram offense, and he's been a little bit cautious, as you would expect in his first start.
Remember, they're signaling him the plays from the sidelines. Bennett upstairs, down to the sidelines, and out to him. So all he's got to do is execute, but against a great defense.
Ryan, Jesse wide to the right. Jackson left. Neither of them has caught a pass. McCutcheon found some room in the middle. Marshall and Seaman finally took him down. Think about Marshall. This is consecutive game number 224 for him, which ties him with George Blanda.
I'm not taking anything away from George, but George was doing a lot of kicking in some of those years. Marshall's been teeing it up as a starter.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And still playing well.
George had a lot of mental anguish. 2nd and 5. Jesse comes in motion. Hayden gives to McCutcheon again. Bounce. Rattle for about 5. Alan Page finally made the tackle. First down, Los Angeles.
Take a look how big that offensive line is for the Rams. It is not large, it is immense, and it is young, and it is well coached. And that Rich Saul in the middle, he had to wait like 4 years to play because Kenny Iman was there. When Iman retired after 14, Saul got his chance. They are all very patient veterans there. Tough.
They own a first down right now. The ball at the 34-yard line, their own. Hayden goes back to pass on first down. Flag is down as Jesse is out there. Jesse's out of bounds. Nate Wright was back with him. Jesse was out of bounds, but a flag is down back in the area where you would suspect it might be holding.
Little holding, I believe, on Sutherland or Marshall. Both are acting like they've been held. But I'll tell you one thing, Hayden can throw it. He airmailed that thing about 65 yards. We also have a flag down here around the 30-yard line, down here this end of the field.
Here comes Fred Silva down to check on things.
That was meant for Ron Jesse and caught, by the way, but just out of bounds.
Offsetting.
It's going to be holding on offense, it appears, and perhaps a little agitation downfield as Jesse drifts on out of bounds, being pursued. But I'll tell you, Hayden really threw a beautiful spiral and a very strong throw.
We have holding, offense, pass interference, defense. Offset.
So the penalties offset each other, as indicated by Fred Silva. Tom Brookshire was talking about that offensive line a minute ago of the Los Angeles Rams. It's France and John Williams at the tackles. Tom Mack and Dennis Harrah the guards. Rich Saul is the offensive center.
We'll try to get a shot of Rich Saul if we can in just a minute here and show you what happens around the offensive center spot.
First and 10. Hayden gives back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon cuts back against the grain. Pursued by Blair, tackled by Seaman.
Boy,
and
Seaman
Page.
almost made him cough that ball up, too. McCutcheon wisely put it away as he headed down. I asked one of the Rams if Rich Saul was hurt. He said, how could he be? He said he has every known protective device that you can have as a player, and they call him General Hospital.
The wind is picked up now, so it's blowing from the north behind the Rams back at about 25 miles an hour. Capoletti bounced up close to first down yardage, didn't quite get it. Stopped by Jeff Wright.
I see a little bit of intensity down there. I saw Doug France and Harrah both arguing with some of the defensive players, Eller and them, and there may be some hard feelings forming down the line of scrimmage, and I certainly hope so. I think one of these teams ought to come out now and begin to lay it on somebody.
Terry Nelson just checked in and whispered something to Hayden. What Chuck Knox once done on third and very short yardage. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left, third period. It's 3-0 Minnesota still. Hayden's going to throw, and does. Outside Jesse. First pass reception all day by a Ram wide receiver. Nate Wright on the tackle.
Ball was right on the money, and again, it's thrown on third and short. I still think that Hayden looks a little tight when he goes back, and I can understand it. He's sort of guiding it, looking for his receiver. But he's been a winner, Pat. He never did anything that wasn't just about the way it should be done all his life.
And he's been in some big games in the past, collegiately. First down now as Hayden gets back to McCutcheon, and McCutcheon gets away from the couple. Stopped by Jeff Wright.
Boy, Mack and Harrah and Rich Saul in the middle did a tremendous job that time of splitting Sutherland and Alan Page and jamming it, as they say in this league, right down your throat.
Jeff Wright has to check out. He's made a lot of tackles today, and Autry Beeman comes in. 2nd and 3. Ball at the Minnesota 46. Down to just over 3 minutes left, third period. McCutcheon gets the call. Play that looks sort of slow developing. Didn't you think so?
What a mass of humanity. It looked like, well, the Vikes knew what they were going to do. They're going to run right at Sutherland. And the Rams said, okay, you know what we're going to do. See if you can keep us from getting that first down. And they did, but it's close. It's right on it.
The bottom of the pile was Sutherland. It's close enough for Fred Silver to ask for measurement.
16 players on this Ram team are second-year or first-year men. So when you're thinking about, oh, the Rams have been to the playoffs before, a lot of these guys haven't been. This is a big game for them.
There's only one victory in the Ram book in Minnesota since they've been coming up here to play the Vikings. They've lost 9 times, and they tied 1. So it hasn't been a friendly place for Los Angeles. 3rd and short. McCutcheon bangs in there and got it down close to the 40-yard line. Stopped by Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker.
They tell a story of McCutcheon at Colorado State up at Fort Collins. When the pro scouts came up, they put number 30 on the clock for 40 yards, and he ran a 4.4, which is very fast. And the next time he ran it, 4.4. Did 5 wind sprints in a row, and they were all 4.4, which means that he can do it in the 4th period as well as he can do it in the 1st period.
He has proven that in the past. Denver 29-3 over the New York Jets at the half. LA has 11 first downs. Minnesota has 10. Cappelletti looks for some running room and found it. That's done just on strength. About a 5-yard pickup for Cappelletti.
I think Paterno might have been able to use him against Ohio State yesterday, right?
Anybody be able to use him.
You're behind the defense now. No, Sutherland's trying to work out to the outside on defense. There's Blair out there for help, but Cappelletti did just slide in between those 2 big buildings for the yardage.
The Bears, the surprising Chicago Bears, lead San Francisco 19-5. Cappelletti's picked up 91 yards so far. McCutcheon grinding straight ahead behind that offensive line we talked about a minute ago. It'll be 3rd down now.
McCutcheon is right at 70 yards, and as you said, Cappelletti at 91, but there are no points on the board, and they still pay off not in penetrations, but in points. Well, you know that. As many games as you won for the Giants with that great toe of yours?
It does seem to have an effect on whether or not you play when the season's over. Rich Saul shaken up on that last play. General Hospital is going to the sideline.
Boy, he's tough. Don't worry about him coming back. He may limp a little bit.
Jeff Reese is the backup center. Terry Nelson checks in. They'll go with dual tight ends now. It'll be Klein on one side and Nelson on the other.
Reese, number 54, is a 250-pounder, a rookie from Washington State.
3rd and 2. Just over a minute left in the 3rd period. Minnesota 3, Los Angeles nothing. Out to Jesse. They swing it again, and he got the first down again. Same play on 3rd down. Nate Wright giving him a lot of room out there.
I'll tell you, Hayden throws it, though. That ball gets there in a hurry, and yet it looks like it has enough spin to where you can catch it. He hit Jesse with a pretty swift little throw. Hayden is only 5'11". Tarkenton is just a shade taller than that, so don't think that is something that he can't overcome. There it is, and it's a rifle, but it seems to have a lot of spin, so that's catchable.
Rich Saul, after 1 play rest, is back at offensive center for Los Angeles now. It's a first down for the Rams. Ball at the Minnesota 26, and Cappelletti gets the call again. This time, no place to go, even when he spun back to the inside. They were there. Seaman around his feet.
What are you thinking in the secondary now that the young man has the offensive line going and beginning to get the 3 plays and then the first down? You crowd the line of scrimmage a little bit if you're Paul Krause back there, right? The first thing you know, you get a play pass action even by a young quarterback like this, and you do light up a scoreboard. You got to be very careful on defense.
Check it, see how much room Nate Wright gives Harold Jackson on the right side. Jesse goes to the left. Jackson's got a lot of room. On 2nd down, Cappelletti's looking for some room. He struggles down inside the 20-yard line.
Severe, he ran straight ahead and picked up the hole wherever it opened up. And watch Alan Page react so well. Seaman moves in. Page moved into the right of your screen. Because of the good reaction, Capoletti found that room.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Minnesota 3, Los Angeles nothing.
Has anybody out there got a copy on this One Rubber Duck? Come on. It was a lonely day, and I hate to say that I was somewhere east of nowhere. And when the sun goes down in them rocky towns, it just gets a plumb sight lonelier. But with a million Midland Seabees around, you just don't have to be by yourself. Because you got a Midland convoy buddy to get yourself a bunch of that help.
Join the Midland Convoy, get a Midland CB.
Yeah, when you get a Midland CB, you get a convoy buddy. Come on.
This baby has something every battery should have. A full lifetime warranty printed right on the battery. And I sell it at a fair price. It's Sunoco's best, True Blue. If it ever fails to hold a charge for you in your present car, Sunoco will replace it free with proof of purchase, except if damaged by accident or abuse. When you drive into Sunoco, you get something else. Me. And I'll test any battery you drive in with free.
I can be very friendly, very friendly.
Yes, I can.
Jeff Siemens been over for a chat with Bud Grant. And he comes back to the... Whoop, look out. He's still alone.
Look at that. He may put one of those horns right through the eye there of the CBS Sports eye, right?
He might wear it.
Hook 'em horns. This is a big third down play, right? They all are.
That is 3rd and 2. The ball at the Minnesota 19. The Rams are all bunched up in that offensive unit. One of it's going to be Capoletti or McCutcheon. McCutcheon. He is close. He is very close to a first down.
Boy, Williams blocked down, and Tom Mack pulled through that hole. That's the old buddy block. The guard pulls through, the off guard. 65 led McCutcheon right through there for what's the biggest first down of the day. And
if it is, they're going to measure. The buddy block, you say?
Well, it's a buddy. The center blocks away, and the guard pulls through there. And if you're playing defense, you feint.
And you hope you got somebody.
Somebody tackled that guy.
It looks like it's going to be about maybe 2 or 3 inches short.
Oh, boy, what do you do now? You try for 3 there, or do you try to go ahead and get the first down and win the football game?
They had a chance to try for 3 earlier and turned it down. Dempsey missed one time. But in the first half, look at the last play again.
All right, now watch the left guard. The left center of your screen. Watch 65. See this? Look at McCutcheon. Get right in his shadow. But they better get that same block right now, or they're in trouble.
Looks like about less than a foot to go as the Rams break out of the offensive huddle. 4th down. The stands come alive, and Hayden says he can't hear.
Oh.
You think that's going to make him be quiet?
He must think he's in Pasadena. Don't tell these Viking fans you can't hear. They may come in here and get us. Might be a pretty cute little ploy, though, by the young man. You know, he'll have that defensive line white-knuckling it on that stance, maybe more than his own offense.
Right, he'd probably go a long count.
You know, the thought crossed my mind, maybe he doesn't even want to snap it.
Just keep counting. They have 14 seconds left. That's where they stop the new 30-second clock that's on the scoreboard here. They have 30 seconds, of course, in which to put the ball in play. Now the Viking fans come alive again. I'm sorry, Tom. Minnesota asking for quiet, and so is Hayden. 4th down. I don't know. McCutcheon got the call, and he got popped almost as soon as he got the ball.
Now, Klein and company are saying yes, and Hayden, and the Vikings are really hot. Look at this.
Jeff Seaman made the tackle, and they are stomping up and down.
How do you get forward motion? By the way, Saul's back in at offensive center, and it looked to me like Hayden called for something right over the offensive center. Boy, he couldn't have made it by more than an inch.
That's about all he had to go, and that's about all he got. Carl Eller still looking down, and here comes the measuring crew again. Right now, it looks like he got it from where they marked the ball. Ram first down.
All right, here's a war for about a half a foot. Here's what happened. I'll tell you, he was met as he tried to get up off the ground. I believe that was Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker.
It was. But after all that, it's a Ram first down. Opening minutes of quarter number 4 at Bloomington, Minnesota. First down for Pat Hayden. Back to pass. In the corner in the direction of Jackson, a flag is down.
I believe Harold Jackson ran the post corner, and sometimes you have a problem and try to knock off a very fast receiver like Harold from getting back outside. Now, if the ball wasn't thrown, you understand that number 25,
Nate Allen
had the right to do that. But if the ball was in the air and coming, then it's going to be a yellow flag, and that's what the argument is right now.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone, 25.
Jackson,
Ball
of course,
goes
a
to the
legitimate
1-yard
4-3
line,
man
first down.
sprinting 40 yards. Let's take a look now and see if we can see it. I doubt if we can see it. It'll be in the left corner of your screen. The in move and then the out. And we did not see it.
Ram first down at the 1. First and goal. McCutcheon gets the call. They fumble. There still has not been a final ruling. And now there has. Into the end zone, the fumble.
I believe it was Doug Sutherland that recovered it.
The ball comes back out to the 20. Let's look at it again.
McCutcheon again trying to get up and over. Seaman and company right on top.
Touchback.
And there's a loose ball in there. And Saul is on somebody's back. I believe it was one of the secondary men that recovered it.
It is ruled a touchback. We'll return to Metropolitan Stadium after this word from your local stadium.
America's Pastime gets the once-over in the hilarious new comedy Ball 4, starting this Wednesday night on CBS.
Sure, Toyota's a beauty, all right. But how do I know it can really take it?
You asked for it. A demonstration of Toyota toughness. Toyota trucks are built tough with a rugged steel frame to handle stress, a tough steel bed to handle up to 1,100-pound payloads, and a 5-speed overdrive transmission that helps save wear and tear on the biggest displacement engine in its class. If you can find a better-built truck than Toyota, buy it. Quality.
You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Open up your eyes, hey, look around you. There's a lot of world you've never seen.
Where does Pan Am go? Well, where do you want to go?
Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of Pan Am. America's airline to the world.
Channel 2, New York.
So hold them up.
Here's the controversial play now.
Now remember, if McCutcheon carries it into the end zone before he fumbles, it's a touchdown, but he didn't. And the ball is recovered in the end zone, so it's a touchback, and the Vikes have it on the 20. A very, very close play.
We come back live now with Chuck Foreman carrying outside the 20 to the 23. That is twice in this game that the Rams have put together a long running drive. The other one was 75 yards. This one was 76 yards in 16 plays, and they get no points.
And only the second turnover in the game. The Rams have had both a fumble and then an INT early.
Second and 7, Minnesota still leads it 3-0. Tarkenton has his speed receivers both split wide to the right. He hands to Foreman. Larry Brooks is right there.
Brooks is so quick. Tingelhoff tried to tie his shoelaces together, and Brooks still made the tackle, number 90.
Tingelhoff must be pretty quick, too.
Boy, that is some goal line stand the Vikings just threw up there. Their defense will sleep very well tonight should they win this game 3-0.
3rd and 6. 12 minutes and 50 seconds left in the football game. Foreman goes in motion. Sammy White at the 38. Elmendorf. And Monty Jackson on the tackle, but a first down, Minnesota.
And Tarkington got a lot of time to load it up and throw this time, so the rush was taken off. That means that Yeri and Riley did a good job. Let's take a look. You're behind the defense now. There goes Simpson out of the screen. And right across the middle, there comes White. He's only got about a step and a half. Of course, that's all the receiver needs, particularly against the man-to-man.
Ahmad Rashad into the game as a wide receiver for Minnesota. First down. Foreman jumps and jukes and got nothing. Maybe a yard before he stopped by middle linebacker Jack Reynolds.
Vikings just have not been able to rush the football with any consistency at all.
Not at all.
Foreman, who usually makes a couple of people miss on 5-yard gains.
Sammy White has caught 7 passes for a total of 67 yards. He's had a good day. Rashad and White both come wide to the right. To Rashad. He gets out of bounds. Tarkenton just raised up and looked at him. Chuck Knox.
Well, there's a portrait of a coach thinking, musing, still feeling that there's victory to be had, but
watch some of the blocking.
All right, Merlin Olsen now working against Eddie White and being bumped there very hard by McClanahan right in the old orchestra pit, too. Huh? That must hurt.
The big orchestra pit. It's 3rd and 4. 11:24, the ball at the 44. 11:24 left in the game. Blitz for White. He's gone. Rod Perry
fell down.
Was burned.
Perry fell down on the play before that, and Sammy White just turned and ran out of bounds. And this time on White's 9th catch, there was nobody there, and Fran just laid it up. Good blocking, by the way. They picked up the blitz beautifully.
Here it is.
Tarkenton now. Remember, the blitz is on. Pat, you were right. The Rams decide to come with everybody, and nobody gets there. Not before he's thrown the ball. You'll see Perry now in the wake, falling down. Sammy White from Grambling runs it on in.
Notice he did not spike the ball after he scored. He scored last week, said he wanted to in the worst way, but he remembered what the coach said. Red Cox makes it 10-0 Minnesota. So the Vikings struck quickly after they stopped the Rams and recovered that fumble. Back they came, and they lead it 10-0 now.
October 1st, Ford will introduce a special choice. For 1977, some car makers will offer only shorter, lighter full-size cars. But Ford gives you a choice. The full-size LTD that kept its size and the new trimmer LTD2.
When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
With the same amount of gas, you probably would have made it to that gas station if you only had something new called Mobil 1. It's a synthesized motor oil that cuts friction so well, it'll give the average car up to 10 extra miles per tank full. True, Mobil 1 costs more, but in the long run, you're
Throwing that touchdown pass to Sammy White. White scales at the 4. Gets out to the 28. Stopped by Amos Martin and Jeff Wright again.
I just looked up. The last shutout the Rams suffered was in 1969. Detroit beat them 28-zip. But in a long time, 69 to this team, and this team has moved that football on the ground about as well as you could ask a team to do it for you. They simply didn't get any points.
First down, Los Angeles. They have dominated play on the ground. No question about that. But Minnesota leads 10-0. First down, the ball on the Rams 28. Hayden. Harold Jackson just shy of midfield, and somebody went hurtling over the top.
Just shy of Jeff Seaman. Did you see the middle linebacker coming out?
They're going to bring it back. Discussion here with Fred Silva just before he walks things off. And we'll hear after that, hopefully, who the violator was.
60 offense, holding, first down.
That's Hara. That's the second-year man, the very fine young guard, but he was holding, which means he was probably holding Sutherland. It'll be to the left of your screen. Number 60. There he is,
Oh, he's got
holding
him.
Sutherland. Oh, he's got him good, I'll tell you that.
Got him by all four numbers. So it's first and 20 now. And Hayden goes back to pass. Marshall almost got loose. Now the protection does break down. Hayden still looking for a place to go. Finally fires outside to Capoletti. Capoletti gets out to about the 25.
Might have been looking for John McKay's son. I felt like he was almost back to the college days, doing a little bit of a wrinkle there. Tell you one thing, he's pretty cool. Couldn't have been that way at Oxford, however.
He has become more and more poised, I think, as the game has progressed. Now he wants some help. Hurry up. Here comes Bertelsen.
By the way, I said earlier that he was a single and a bachelor, and I think he did recently marry after he signed his big contract.
I'm sure his wife will be glad to hear that. It's 2nd and 12. Here's the reverse to Capoletti. They got around Eller. Capoletti's got some room and got the first down. Big John probably is not as fast as McCutcheon or some of the other backs, but he's not short on anything else.
Watch Jim Bertelsen, though, to the left of your screen now. He'll set up Eller and just turn him around. There to the right of your screen, you saw it. Good block on the outside by Hara. Again, protection of the ball and trailing 10 points.
So it's 1st and 10 for Los Angeles. The ball at their 40. Capoletti now has carried 22 times for 112 yards. 2 weeks in a row he's over 100. Hayden fires. Jackson got it. Oh, he'll remember it. Nate Allen turned him with some help from Jeff Seaman.
Jeff Seaman is playing some kind of a game for the Vikings. Watch this move now. A very good throw that takes Harold Jackson. Look at him drive off into her. Watch Jackson jump straight up. Nate Allen runs right under him, and there's Seaman to finish him off. Harold Jackson, you're right. You're going to feel that tomorrow. Great catch, though.
Oh, Krause is out of the game. James White is in to rush. Not much in the middle of the Minnesota defense. Alan Page, Doug Sutherland, all in on the stop.
Chuck Knox said before the game, he said, Tom, if we have to tee it up and throw it to win, I don't think Hayden can do it. But if we can rush the football and get some points and sporadically throw it, we might have a chance. But looks to me like Hayden's going to have to load it up 10 or 15 times here to get at least a touchdown and a half.
Bobby Bryant is in at free safety for Minnesota. Krause is out. 2nd and 8. Hayden goes back. Ducks under a couple. He's going to take off. Ducks under one right there. Ducks under Matt Blair. Kenny Meyer and Chuck Knox. It's Meyer working on the gum. Watch that scramble.
Let's take a look now at a very, very shrewd play by the young quarterback, number 11. That's Page being worked on there. Now he decides, get down, get down.
Taking a page out of Tarken's book. Got to lose that battle. 3rd down. The Rams coming right back. Hayden back. Stunts going on. He fired down the middle in the direction of Bertelson. He yelled for the flag, and he got one.
Wally Hilgenberg, I believe, was trailing Bertelson and spun him around. Naturally, Wally doesn't believe it was. Bertelson doesn't even turn to the defense at all.
I wonder if there's ever been a defender who's called for pass interference who said, "You're right, I did do it."
Not if he was worth a darn.
First
You're
down.
right.
Automatic first down, of course. Let's look at it from the end zone.
All right, to the right of your screen now, Wally Hilgenberg should be doing his thing. There's Bertelson. And Wally's already done something to him, a little nifty move there.
Bertelson was already pointing and saying to the referees, "Hey, you got me." First down, Hayden goes deep again. Looking, and firing. In the direction of Bob Klein, the tight end. He tried to let up on it, and the ball didn't quite get there.
I wonder if he was trying to hit McCutcheon with it and was undecided, so he ended up throwing it sort of low to the tight end. And Jackson's coming back from the far hinterlands, where he probably will go back and say, "Well, I was wide open, but I know you had something else to think about."
Bertelson and Scales come in. Capoletti and Klein go out.
The crossing pattern right now would catch a zone and stretch it. If Jesse would be on one side of the field and Jackson on the other, they could stretch a zone almost to the limits. They're on the same side right now.
6 defensive backs in the Viking defensive unit on second down and 10. Ball at their 26. The reverse again. Bertelson trying to block on Eller. Again, he did a good job. McCutcheon goes down, and Jeff Wright made the tackle. What a job he's done today.
Jeff Wright has made about 6 tackles, as clean and as difficult as you'll see any secondary man make all year.
That's not an easy guy to take down in the open field like that.
Again, Bertelson did the job on Eller. Eller does a pretty good job, though, of delaying this play, of making the play a little bit slower reacting. Now watch this play. 23. Hey, he's having quite a day. Jeff Wright makes another good one.
Third down now for Los Angeles. The ball at the 24. 3rd and 8. Minnesota leads it 10-0 as Hayden goes back. Great protection for Jackson. He bounced it in there. He was open.
That's the crossing play. That's the one he's got to have, is Jesse and Klein to clear out and go deep and bring somebody like Harrell across the middle. There should be a vacuum there somewhere, but the young man's got to cut the ball loose and stop guiding it.
For the second time, the Rams are unveiling Tom Dempsey. He was short earlier. And Steve Priest will be the holder. The ball will be snapped from the 25. It's going to be a 42-yard effort by Dempsey. And he's got plenty enough leg to get it there. It is 10-0. They still got a lot of work ahead of that Los Angeles offensive unit if they're going to do anything about it. Vikings lead by 10. Down the ball. Dempsey's got enough leg here. And got it. It was a long time in making that judgment. So the Rams do get on the scoreboard. The score with 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in the 4th period is Minnesota 10, Los Angeles 3.